My dear brothers and sisters, before you speak, think about this. How many times have you wished you could take your words back? How many times did one sentence change how people saw you? A moment of talking can cost years of respect. A few careless words can expose what should have been protected. Listen carefully. Not everything in your mind belongs on your tongue. Not everything you feel deserves to be spoken. Because sometimes your greatest power is not in what you say, but in what you choose to keep silent. And the one who learns this changes his life forever. One, every word you speak has a price extended. My dear brothers and sisters, understand this deeply and let it settle in your heart before it reaches your tongue. Words are not free. They may feel light when they leave your mouth, but they are heavy in their consequences. Every word you speak carries a result. Sometimes that result is small and passes quickly, but sometimes it follows you for years. It affects how people see you, how they trust you, and how they remember you when you are not present. You may think you are just speaking casually, just filling silence, just expressing yourself, but people are always observing. They are not only listening to what you say, they are watching how you say it, when you say it, and why you say it. In those moments, they quietly form an image of you. They measure your maturity, your discipline, and your level of self-control without ever telling you. A person who speaks without thinking often feels powerful in the moment, but later feels regret when the damage is already done. A sentence spoken in anger, a secret shared without care, or a joke made without wisdom can cost you more than you ever expected. It can damage relationships, close doors, and reduce the respect people once had for you. On the other hand, the one who controls his tongue is the one who protects his life. This person does not rush to speak. He pauses, he reflects, he understands that silence is not weakness but protection. Silence gives you time to think, time to choose your words carefully, and time to avoid mistakes that cannot be undone. Remember this clearly. Silence has never exposed you. Silence has never caused regret. But words once spoken cannot be returned. They leave your mouth and enter the hearts of others, and sometimes they stay there longer than you intended. Before you speak, train yourself to ask a simple but powerful question. Is this worth the cost? Is what I am about to say going to benefit me or harm me? Will it build respect or quietly destroy it? This small pause can save you from big consequences. Also understand that not everything you know needs to be shared. Not everything you feel needs to be expressed. And not every situation requires your voice. The more you learn to hold back, the more control you gain over your life. Because in the end, it is not just about speaking. It is about knowing when not to speak. And the one who masters that protects his dignity, his peace, and his future. 2, oversharing destroys your value. Extended. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the most dangerous habits that has become normal today is oversharing. People speak about everything without thinking. They share their plans before they are complete, their struggles before they are healed, and their emotions before they are understood. And slowly, without realizing it, they begin to lose something very valuable, their sense of dignity and their personal value. Understand this carefully. Not everything about your life is meant to be public. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every feeling needs to be displayed. There is a wisdom in holding things within yourself, in protecting parts of your life from unnecessary exposure. When you constantly tell people everything, you remove the natural boundaries that protect you. You allow others to see your weaknesses before you have strengthened them. You reveal your plans before they have taken shape. And in doing so, you give people the ability to judge you, doubt you, or even work against you. Some people will listen to you with a smile, but inside they are analyzing, comparing, and sometimes even waiting for you to fail. Not everyone who listens to you cares about you. Not everyone who asks about your life has good intentions. This is why wisdom is not just about speaking the truth, but also about knowing who deserves to hear it. The more you share, the less mystery you have. And the less mystery you have, the less weight your presence carries. When people already know everything about you, there is nothing left for them to respect or discover. Your words lose impact because they become predictable. There is also another danger in oversharing. When you speak too much about your struggles and emotions, you begin to live in them even more. You repeat your pain, you relive your difficulties, and you keep yourself emotionally stuck. Sometimes silence is not just protection from others, it is also protection for your own heart. Learn to keep certain things between you and your Creator. Learn to handle your struggles with patience instead of broadcasting them. Learn to work quietly on your goals instead of announcing them to everyone. Because when you move in silence, you protect your energy, you protect your focus, and you protect your intentions from being weakened by the opinions of others. Also, remember this, when you share too much, people begin to take you lightly. They feel they already know you completely. They feel there is no limit, no boundary, no filter. And once that happens, respect begins to fade slowly. But when you speak with control, when you reveal only what is necessary, when you keep certain things private, people naturally treat you with more respect. They become more careful with their words around you. They listen more attentively when you speak because they know you do not speak without purpose. Oversharing may feel like honesty, but in reality it is often a lack of discipline. True strength is not in expressing everything. True strength is in choosing what to express and what to protect. So train yourself to pause. Not everything needs to be shared. Not every moment needs to be explained. Not every person deserves access to your inner world. Protect your story. Protect your growth. Protect your peace. Because the more you guard your life with wisdom, the more your value increases in the eyes of people. And more importantly, the more stability you build within yourself. 3. As silence builds respect and power. Extended. My dear brothers and sisters, there is a quiet strength that many people overlook, and that is the strength of silence. In a world where everyone is trying to be heard, where everyone is competing to speak, to explain, to prove themselves, the one who learns to remain silent with purpose rises above the noise without even trying. Understand this deeply. Respect is not created by how much you speak. It is created by the weight of your words. And the weight of your words comes from how often you choose not to speak. When a person speaks constantly, their words begin to lose meaning. People stop paying attention. Their voice becomes background noise. But when a person speaks less, when they choose their words carefully, every sentence carries impact. People listen more closely. People value what is being said because it is not being wasted. Silence creates presence. It gives you a certain dignity that cannot be achieved through constant talking. When you are calm, observant, and composed, people feel it. They may not say it, but they recognize it. They sense that you are in control of yourself. And self-control is one of the most powerful forms of strength. Many people believe that power is in dominating conversations, in always having something to say, in always proving a point. But true power is in restraint. It is in knowing that you can speak, but choosing not to. It is in having something to say, but holding it back because it is not necessary. When you develop this level of control, something changes within you. You begin to observe more. You notice things others miss. You understand people more deeply because you are listening instead of waiting for your turn to speak. And this awareness gives you an advantage. You start to see intentions behind words. You recognize patterns in behavior. You understand who is sincere and who is not. All of this becomes clear when you are not distracted by your own voice. Silence also protects you from unnecessary conflicts. Many arguments are not worth your energy. Many conversations do not deserve your response. When you react to everything, you drain yourself. But when you choose silence, you preserve your peace. There is a wisdom in knowing that not every statement requires a reply. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Sometimes the strongest response is no response at all. And when people see that you do not react easily, they begin to respect you more. They realize that your attention is not easily earned. They understand that your words are not cheap. This creates a natural boundary, and boundaries create respect. Silence also strengthens your inner state. When you are not constantly speaking, you begin to connect more with your thoughts. You reflect more. You understand yourself better. You become more aware of your intentions, your emotions, and your direction in life. This inner clarity makes you stronger, because a person who understands himself is not easily influenced by others. Remember this. Silence is not about being weak or passive. It is not about avoiding everything. It is about choosing your moments. It is about speaking when it is necessary and remaining silent when it is not. It is about having control over your tongue instead of letting your tongue control you. And when you reach this level, you notice something powerful. People begin to listen when you speak. people begin to value your presence. People begin to respect your space. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it through discipline. So train yourself to be comfortable with silence. Do not rush to fill every gap in a conversation. Do not feel the need to prove yourself with words. Let your actions speak. Let your character speak. Let your presence speak. Because sometimes the loudest thing in the room is a person who knows when to stay silent. And that silence, when used with wisdom, becomes a source of both respect and power. 4. Your tongue can destroy your relationships. Extended. My dear brothers and sisters, many people believe that relationships break because of big mistakes, betrayal, or major actions. But in reality, most relationships are slowly damaged by something much smaller, much more subtle, and much more frequent: words. A single careless sentence can plant a seed of hurt. A harsh tone can create distance. A repeated pattern of negative speech can slowly turn love into discomfort. And before you realize it, what once felt strong begins to weaken. Understand this clearly. Your tongue has the power to build, and it has the power to destroy. It can bring hearts closer, or it can push them apart. And the most dangerous part is that the damage caused by words is often invisible at first. There are no immediate signs, no loud warnings. But inside the heart of the other person, something begins to change. People may forgive your actions, but they often remember your words. Because words enter the heart directly, they stay in the mind. They replay in moments of silence. And sometimes, even if a person smiles in front of you, they are carrying the weight of something you said. This is why controlling your tongue is not just about self-discipline. It is about protecting the people around you. Think about how many relationships have been damaged by arguments that started with just one sentence. A moment of anger, a response without thinking, a reply meant to hurt instead of heal. In that moment, it may feel justified. It may feel like you are defending yourself. But once the words are spoken, the damage begins. Anger speaks quickly, but its consequences last long. When emotions rise, your ability to think clearly decreases. You say things you do not fully mean. You exaggerate. You bring up past issues. You use words as weapons instead of tools for understanding. And once those words are released, they cannot be taken back. Even if you apologize later, the memory remains. This is why it is so important to learn the habit of pausing. When you feel emotional, when you feel angry, when you feel hurt, that is the moment you must be most careful with your words. Silence in that moment is not weakness, it is protection. It protects you from saying something you will regret, and it protects the relationship from unnecessary harm. Also understand that not all harm comes from anger. Sometimes it comes from carelessness, jokes that go too far, comments that seem small to you but feel heavy to someone else. Constant criticism, even if intended as advice, can slowly break a person's confidence. Words, when repeated over time, shape how people feel about themselves. If your words are always negative, always critical, always harsh, the person in front of you begins to feel small. They begin to feel unappreciated. And eventually they may distance themselves, not because they do not care, but because they are trying to protect their own heart. Healthy relationships are built on respect, understanding, and kindness. And all of these are expressed through words. A gentle word can heal a wound. A kind sentence can strengthen a bond. A thoughtful response can resolve a conflict before it grows. But the opposite is also true. A harsh word can create a wound. A careless sentence can weaken a bond. A thoughtless reaction can turn a small issue into a lasting problem. This is why you must become aware of how you speak, not just what you speak. Your tone matters, your timing matters, your intention matters. Sometimes it is not what you say, but how you say it that makes all the difference. Learn to speak with calmness instead of aggression. Learn to listen fully before responding. Learn to choose words that solve problems instead of creating them. And most importantly, learn that not every situation requires an immediate reaction. There is strength in taking a step back. There is wisdom in giving yourself time to think. There is maturity in choosing peace over being right. Because many people win arguments but lose relationships. And what is the benefit of being right if the connection is broken? So protect your relationships by protecting your tongue. Do not allow temporary emotions to cause permanent damage. Do not allow a moment of anger to destroy something that took years to build. Speak with intention, speak with care, speak with awareness, because the one who learns to control his words protects not only himself, but also the hearts of those around him. And that is a sign of true strength. 5, controlling your tongue is true strength extended. My dear brothers and sisters, when people think of strength, they often imagine something visible. They think of physical power, loud confidence, or the ability to dominate others. But real strength is not always seen. It is quiet, it is controlled, and it is deeply rooted within a person. One of the greatest signs of true strength is the ability to control your tongue. Anyone can speak, anyone can react, anyone can say whatever they feel in the moment. That requires no effort, no discipline, and no awareness, but to hold your words back when you are angry, to remain silent when you are provoked, to choose calmness when emotions are high. That is not easy. That is strength. Understand this clearly. Your tongue is small, but its impact is powerful. It can open doors and it can close them. It can build your reputation and it can destroy it. It can bring you closer to people or it can push them away. Because of this, learning to control it is one of the most important skills you can develop in your life. The one who controls his tongue is not controlled by his emotions. He does not allow anger to decide his words. He does not allow frustration to shape his speech. Instead, he creates a pause between what he feels and what he says. And in that pause, he chooses wisely. This pause is where strength lives. Many people fail not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack control. They say things they should not say. They reveal things they should have protected. They react in ways that damage their image and their relationships. And later, when they reflect, they realize that a few seconds of silence could have saved them from so much regret. But by then, it is already too late. So train yourself to slow down. Do not let your words run ahead of your mind. When you feel the urge to speak quickly, take a moment, breathe, think, ask yourself if what you are about to say is necessary, beneficial, and respectful. If it is not, then silence is better. Also understand that controlling your tongue is not only about avoiding negative speech, it is also about avoiding unnecessary speech. Talking too much, even without harm, can still reduce your value. It can make your presence feel ordinary. It can make your words feel less important. But when you speak less, people pay attention. When you choose your words carefully, people listen more deeply. Your voice gains weight because it is not used carelessly. This is why powerful people are often calm in their speech. They do not rush to fill every silence. They are comfortable with pauses. They are comfortable with not responding immediately. They understand that silence can be more powerful than words. There is also a spiritual dimension to this. When you control your tongue, you protect your heart, you reduce unnecessary conflicts, you avoid gossip, arguments, and negative conversations that drain your energy. You create a sense of inner peace because you are not constantly caught in cycles of reaction and regret. Your mind becomes clearer. Your emotions become more stable. Your presence becomes more composed. This kind of control builds a strong character, and character is what people truly respect. Remember, people may be impressed by someone who speaks confidently, but they deeply respect someone who knows when not to speak. Because that shows awareness, that shows discipline, that shows maturity. There will be moments in your life when you feel the urge to defend yourself, to explain yourself, or to prove your point. And sometimes it may even feel justified. But not every battle needs to be fought with words. Sometimes your silence is your dignity. Sometimes your silence is your protection. And sometimes your silence is your victory. Because when you do not react, you do not give others control over your emotions. When you do not engage in unnecessary kalam, you preserve your energy for what truly matters. So make it a habit to control your tongue in all situations. In anger, choose patience. In excitement, choose moderation. In conversation, choose purpose. Do not speak just to be heard. Speak when there is value in what you say. And learn to appreciate silence. Learn to be comfortable with it. Learn to use it as a tool, not as a weakness. Because the one who masters his tongue, masters his reactions, masters his relationships, and ultimately masters his life. This is true strength. Not loud, not visible, not aggressive, but powerful, disciplined, and deeply respected. My dear brothers and sisters, at the end of the day, people may forget what you wore, what you had, and even what you achieved, but they will never forget how your words made them feel. Your tongue is a trust that can either raise you or break you. So choose your words with care. Hold them back when they are not needed, and release them only when they bring benefit. Because silence is not emptiness, it is protection, it is wisdom, it is power. From today, make a decision. Do not speak just to be heard. Do not speak just to respond. Speak with purpose, or remain silent with dignity. Because the one who controls his tongue controls his life. And the one who masters silence walks with respect, peace, and true strength wherever he goes.